Good morning! I just woke up and I decided that today we are going to do a crochet with me video. Crochet with me slash pattern review, or I guess tutorial review in this case, because I will be following a YouTube video tutorial. Here's what we're making. Super fun. I ordered the same yarn that she used in the video so that it's like accurate results, okay? And the yarn just came in yesterday. So let's do a crochet with me video. I'm just gonna brush my teeth and get ready. I've been playing so much Heyday recently. I'm literally like addicted. If you hear that trickling, that kind of sounds like a aquarium tank. It's not, it's a fountain that my cats used to drink out of. I'm gonna do a little makeup today just because I feel like more productive when I do my makeup, if that makes sense. I filmed my first Get Ready With Me TikTok yesterday and it was actually like really fun to make. It was like super fun to make. I also made it like a story time or whatever to keep it interesting. If you guys are wondering what time I woke up today, it's 1 p.m. So I slept in, I guess, to say the least. All my makeup is in this Coraline makeup bag because Coraline is my favorite movie. Oh my god, speaking of, I need to keep track of days because I have tickets to go see Coraline in theaters because they're bringing it back for like a limited amount of time. And I got tickets to go see it, but I have such a bad habit of like losing track of days. So I really need to keep track of that so I don't forget. The bags under my eyes that I'm covering, that is from staying up all night reading fan fiction. So I know I'm 22 and like fan fiction was something I read when I was like 14, you know, 13, 14, 15 when I was a teenager. But if I'm being completely honest, I've been reading fan fiction since I was 14 and I just never stopped. Like, I know I'm not the only one, the only like grown adult who still reads fan fiction. I mean, it's just sometimes, you know, a book is just not doing it. Sometimes I need some like teenager to be like, yeah, I made an entirely alternate universe based on this favorite TV show that you love. So yeah, I'm gonna read it. Like, why wouldn't I read it? I feel like my makeup routine is very, very basic. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. In the 2010s, when I was a teenager, when I was a teen and everybody was following beauty gurus and learning how to do their makeup, I wasn't doing that. I don't know what I was doing. Well, actually, I do know what I was doing. I was talking to grown men on Kik, but I wasn't learning how to do my makeup. That's for sure. So, I haven't even really had like a makeup routine until this year. Like, I honestly, for a while there, I just gave up on the idea of makeup altogether because I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna figure it out. I don't know how it looks good, I don't know, whatever. And then I found out that there isn't like one correct way to do makeup. Like, I think the way I was looking at it, I was just like, oh, like I don't know how to do it right. Like, why am I even doing it? But it's also like, I come to find out it's literally completely up to you, however you want it to look. There isn't like a right way. So as long as you like how it looks on your face, that's literally all that matters. So ever since then, I've been experimenting a little more with it, which is like huge for me because I usually, yeah, because I gave up on it for so long. But I was experimenting a lot last year with makeup, and then I kind of just got like a little simple routine down. Eventually, you know, eventually that happened. But yeah, so here's my makeup products for anybody who wants to know. A better skin. Oh, also, a lot of you guys comment on like all of my 50 crochet ideas videos and you're like, oh my god, makeup tutorial, and I'm like, what? I literally use 4 things maybe. That's like the most basic makeup tutorial ever, and I don't use any of the right things. But here's a little makeup tutorial quick for the girlies who are commenting that everywhere. I use Better Skin Better Skin corrector. It's like a concealer, I'm pretty sure, but I use it in the shade light because I'm really white. But it's the Maybelline Better Skin concealer. I've been using this for a year. This is like my 3rd tube though. Like I have to always get more. It doesn't last super long when you're doing it like every day, but it's fine. I don't use foundation. I used to use foundation, but I don't like the way it feels or like the way it looks. It looks really like creamy on my face. Also, I never found the right shade, so basically I just gave up on it. So I moisturize first and then I put concealer on. But if I'm leaving the house, I put sunscreen on after the moisturizer and then the concealer. But I'm not leaving the house today. I'm staying home today working, so. And then after I do that and everything's kind of blended in with the dollar store blender, I take my Wet n Wild blush. I think I got this from Walgreens. And then I just put a little on my cheeks and a little on my nose, okay? Get that. Lots of blush, because it ends up coming off, like, mostly after the last step. So I do that, and then with the concealer and the blush, all my freckles are gone. So, like, I guess I should have showed you before I put that on, but I have a lot of freckles. And when I put makeup on, I look weird. I look like a doll because I have no freckles anymore. So I like to bring those back because I love my freckles. And I mostly use the concealer for like color correction because I don't like how red my face gets and it's blotchy. So when I color correct, it also covers all of my freckles. So I just take this really long brush and I use the same eyeshadow that I used to contour my nose earlier. You watched me do that, but I also do that with underneath the concealer. That's the only thing I contour because I started doing it and I just like the way it looks. So, which is funny, I love my nose. I don't really have a problem with it. I just like the way I do makeup, it like accentuates my nose more, and I love that because it's my favorite feature about my face. Besides my lips, I like my lips too. I feel like I was blessed with nice lips. And I won't have to get lip filler like everybody else because I'm never doing that because that looks terrifying. But anyways, I just basically randomly put my freckles back on my face where the concealer hid them. And then it looks like a lot right now, like it looks like a lot of freckles. But the next step kind of covers them up a bit. Also, I put Vaseline on my lips for hydration purposes. It's the only chapstick I use, and it's not the chapstick kind, it's like the Vaseline kind. Don't get the Vaseline chapstick kind. It dries your lips out so that you keep using it. Anyways, so once I do my freckles, I take this Maybelline Lasting Fix powder, translucent setting powder in a matte finish. This stuff is golden, and I only use a little bit at a time because I want to make it last. So I just put some under my eyes, and then I put some on my nose, and then I put some on my lip, and I put some on my chin. Yeah. And that's all the products I use. Oh, the palette I use for the brown is just a Morphe palette from like years ago. It's the 35K one. Has like nude colors. It's super old, and I know like makeup expires, but that's a lie. Coming from me, who's not a beauty guru, makeup doesn't expire. Just use it until it's gone. Ta-da! We take a big brush and we just brush all the powder off. And then, what do? Oh, I do mascara. I use this CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume. I don't know if it's good, It's just the one that I have, so I use it. Okay, wait. So do that, and then I take the shiny one, the shiny from the palette, and then I just do a little on the inner of my eye. Not a lot. I see people go crazy. I don't do a lot, and then I put some on my nose so it's like shiny. And that's it. And then I take my Morphe setting spray and I spray myself. Makeup is done. Now it's time to go. Let's go make breakfast before we start crocheting for the day. I've been eating cereal for breakfast. Lucky Charms has been my go-to flavor, I guess.
Immaculate.
You think the officers are MAGA?
Yeah, 87% of police.
Another little fun development that has been happening with me is I think I'm becoming allergic to peanuts out of nowhere, which is kind of weird, but also it's not stopping me from eating them because, like, okay, we have these chocolate covered peanuts from Vaughn's and they're so good, and I just got like a handful of them the other day, and when I put them in my mouth I ate them. Shortly after, I had like hives all around my mouth and on my neck, which is weird because they've never done that to me before. So I was like, maybe it was something else, and then the next day I had them again and it happened again. So I think I'm becoming allergic to them. I don't know.
Stuff like the pain at the TV show and the mail. Isn't that certain? The reality show, though. Those are my takes.
So let's take not too much shit up. I think it's sort of with the raw fish.
It's a real addiction, this game. I play it for hours on end. I will stay up to wait for things to finish cooking. Heyday is my vice.
In terms of yarns and stuff like that, the white is obviously a classic. I use the Elise Golden Cotton one, and this is a 2 to 4 hook size. Personally, I would go for...
Okay, I didn't get, she's white, but I didn't get white. I got like a cream color because they didn't have white. So mine is going to be a little more creamy, but it is the same brand that she uses. So we're trying to keep it very true to size.
A 3 hook size in any sort of yarn that you use, because as you can see, the chains are pretty thin. But if you want to use thicker chains, obviously, if that's the look you're going for, completely.
Alright, right off the bat, I love her video so far. She has the rounds typed out on the bottom of the screen while she shows how to do it, so that's always a good thing. I love when crochet creators do that, because it really helps with people who need it written out, you know what I mean? Where's the end of this? Found it. Alright, so she said to use this yarn with a 3mm hook, so that's what I'm gonna do. Working with tiny yarn is so hard. Okay, so what I've gathered from this so far is that it's very repetitive, so if you're looking for a video that you don't have to watch the entire time you're making the top, then this is good because it shows you how to do it, and then there's really just a tweak for every row that you just repeat over and over and over and over. I'm obviously not going to talk specifically about the exact pattern because go watch her video if you want to make it, but I'm just reviewing the tutorial. Very clear directions so far. A very easy pattern. I think beginners could do this. Beginners can definitely do this pattern. Definitely. Beginner friendly. So far it's beginner friendly. But it's very repetitive, so I just have to make, this is the front panel I'm gonna make, and then I have to make the back panel, which will be the exact same. So it's just a repetitive 3 steps over and over again, slightly increasing. So it's a nice project if you want to watch something and really not pay attention that much, but I can already tell there's going to be a lot of counting involved. So if you don't like projects with a lot of counting, this one's not for you. A little note so far from the pattern: in her supplies she only listed the yarn and then the hook, but then throughout her video she uses stitch markers. So if you're going to make it, be prepared to have a stitch marker or a couple stitch markers actually to do the pattern. I also decided that I'm going to time how long it takes to make so that you guys can get a good idea of how long a project like this might take you to make. Okay y'all, we are at, I stopped the timer, but we are at 2 hours and we finished our first panel. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like. This is our first panel. Okay, so we've got the front panel done. We just have to make another one of these for the back. But I did want to make a note, of something with the tutorial. She only makes one size and she gives you the measurements. She gives you the measurements for like a small / medium. But I held that up to me and I was like, I want it to be bigger because I kind of want it to be like almost like a big kind of sweater so that I can kind of, not like a dress, but bigger, you know what I mean? I don't want it to be tight, so I needed to upsize it, but she didn't have upsize measurements, but it's okay because it's pretty straightforward. You just repeat the pattern a few more rows to make it wider or longer or whatever. So basically just repeat it more than she does, because she does a certain amount of rows. Just do more rows and then it'll be a bigger size. So it's super easy to adjust to your fit, so I like that. So it is a size inclusive type of tutorial, which was really cool. So it looks like it takes about 2 hours to do one panel. So the next 2 hours I'm going to be making the second panel. But so far I love this pattern. It's super easy, super beginner friendly, and it's a really nice one to do just like repetitively over and over and over. Like I don't have to reference anything because it's the same thing over and over again. So if you want a repetitive tutorial, this is really good. So now I'm just going to, let's go eat something. And then I'm gonna take a break to eat and then come back and yeah. Oh, and this is how much, I'm gonna keep track of how much yarn I'm using because she also doesn't say how much you're gonna need. So I have, this is the first skein that I used and I still have a lot left. So I should be able to get the second panel plus a sleeve, maybe the whole thing done with this. I don't know, there's a lot. So we'll see. But so far we're still on the first skein. Like 3 hours and 10 minutes in. And this is the second panel, but we're still going. We have a couple more rows left. So I think it's gonna end up being another 2-hour panel. But I've been sitting this entire time. I've been sitting right there this entire time. So I'm watching Walking Dead. So I decided I'm gonna stand for the rest of the top. Stand for the rest of it so that I can get blood flowing to my legs, and I'm just gonna basically stand and crochet because I'm tired of sitting and my feet falling asleep and my ass falling asleep. So I'm just gonna be standing and crocheting for the remainder of the project. All right y'all, so we are at 4 hours 354, so 3 hours 54 minutes, 4 hours. Okay, and I just finished the second panel, so now we have 2 panels. Okay, and I wanted to update you guys on how much yarn we've used. We are still on our first skein, so I want to see if this can get us through the entirety of the first sleeve, and if we even are gonna need to, or I don't know, but I'm trying to let y'all know how many you have to buy if you want to do this pattern. So we're still on the first one. We have been crocheting for 4 hours. And now it's time to, based on her, let's watch and see what's next. I think we have to sew the 2 panels together and then start the sleeves. So let's watch the video real quick. Okay y'all, the sides are attached, and actually surprisingly it took way longer than I thought it would. It took 40 minutes just to sew the sides in, but we are still working with our first skein of yarn. We are at a total of 4 hours and 40 minutes, and we are starting on the sleeves. So, and from what I've gathered, the only sewing part is the sides, because I hate sewing. I hate when patterns have a lot of sewing. So if you also hate it, the sides are the only part that you sew. And I didn't sew it like she did. I used my hook and just slip stitched down instead of using a needle, just because I don't like doing it with a needle. So, and I think it's stronger this way, so I just used my hook and slip stitched. But regardless, you work these sleeves into the big piece, so there shouldn't be any more sewing. You just attach it to your project and work the sleeves out that way. So let's see how long the sleeves end up taking us.
Alright, you guys, so it's the next day, but I just finished the first sleeve. So I did more rows than she did because she stopped at like kind of like a quarter arm or like a third of the arm, but I wanted mine to get to my wrists, so I did more rows of that, so it took longer than if you're just following her tutorial. But we got one sleeve done. We have one more left. I wanted to give you guys a time update. It's 6 hours and 22 minutes at this point, and we are down to the end of our skein, so I'm gonna have to dip into the second skein for this sleeve. But it looks like you only need to buy 2 of those skeins in order to make a top, so don't have to buy more than 2. That's good. I bought 3 just in case, so now I have an extra one. But yeah, so we're at 6 hours 20 minutes. We've got one more sleeve left, and then I will update you then. Moment of truth. I finished it and it took 8 hours. Okay, here's the screenshot proof. 8 hours. It's done. We used 1 and a little bit of a second skein, so I would buy 2 skeins if you're gonna make this top. And I'm gonna steam it and then we'll put it on. I like to steam my garments because they just flow better, so we're gonna steam it and then put it on. Overall, the tutorial is a 10 out of 10. It's beginner friendly and it's very easy to size up or size down depending on what size that you're wanting. Keep in mind, it took 8 hours start to finish to make, and it looks like this because I did steam it with a steamer. So you might have a little more bumpiness if you don't steam it. I definitely recommend steaming it. But other than that, 10 out of 10 tutorial. I loved it. It was very good and beginner friendly. Definitely go check it out.